OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's NXT review, Outcasted OC, and I am Reese with you as always, reviewing my favorite show in WWE. This show felt a little bit strange heading into Halloween Havoc, and we'll get into it why I thought it felt a little bit strange. But first of all, guys, I want you to like the video and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm about to say to you today. And if you don't like what I'm going to say to you, you know, we're still friends. You can subscribe if you want to. I'm going to shut my door just in case anyone hears me talking about wrestling. You know, because wrestling's unpopular and no one likes it. No, I'm joking. Right. What was that intro? Jesus Christ. All right, let's start off hot and heavy, baby. We have got the Bada Bing, Bada Boom Tag Team Battle Royal. I was expecting a little bit more from this match, I'm not going to lie to you. There was some swerves, some unexpected moments in this match, but it didn't last as long as I would have liked it to. There's a moment here where Gallus get eliminated just kind of out of nowhere. So there's a cool moment, and I feel like more people should do this in a Battle Royal or in a Royal Rumble if they're working together, where Joe Coffey is hanging over the rope. Oh, is it Mark, actually? I think it's Mark Coffey is hanging over the rope, and Wolfgang just rolls under the rope to help him back into the ring so he isn't eliminated. But as he's getting back in the ring, both of the Creed brothers eliminate Gallus, and they're gone from the match. Unfortunately, Creed brothers are not long for this world either, but before we get to that, OTM are eliminated from the match also. Out of the mud, get eliminated once again, kind of out of nowhere. I think like Reggie or Scripps goes to help him, and it backfires, and so they're gone. And also the Brawling Brutes both get eliminated at the same time. Them two start brawling, fight night, baby, up the ramp, so they're gone. I was a bit disappointed that Nima and Price didn't win this match, to be honest with you. I thought that'd be the most interesting outcome. But we move. So while the referees are dealing with the Brawling Brutes and OTM like brawling up the ramp, we get Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza get eliminated by the Creed brothers. But obviously the referees, like in 1997 Royal Rumble style, don't see them get eliminated, so they get back in the ring and eliminate the Creed brothers right next to where the referees are standing. So obviously the referees see that happen. So it's going to be Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo versus Chase U, who are also still in this match. Basically, if you don't understand the rules, it was explained last week, but I'll go over for you. You've got 10 teams in the ring. If you're eliminated, your partner is also eliminated. The last two teams in the ring, it turns into an absolutely just normal, by the book tag team match. Which was better than the actual Battle Royal, in my opinion. So it's Chase U, obviously Duke Hudson and Andre Chase, with JC Jane and Thea Hale being the cheerleaders outside the ring. It's very funny to see. Versus Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. I was a bit disappointed that we didn't see more of Humberto Carrillo in this match, because I think he's very, very good at his high flying skills. I do love Angel Garza though. Like, he hits a shot on Andre Chase in this match that absolutely cleans his clock, and it's like, it looks brutal. I really like that. But like I said, I want to see a little bit more of Humberto Carrillo. I'm a big fan of him. So, you know, you can't always get what you want, I suppose. This match comes to an end where the Creed brothers run back down the ring and distract Humberto and Angel Garza, who get rolled up by Andre Chase for the 1, 2, 3. So Chase University are going to be challenging the family at Halloween Havoc next week for the NXT Tag Team Championships. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. Do you think Chase U have a good chance of beating the family? I'm going to say, yeah, they have a pretty decent chance. I don't think they're going to... I don't think they're going to win, honestly. But it's a good matchup. Like I say, I would have liked to see OTM, Nima and Price have the opportunity, but, you know, they didn't. For me, the Creed brothers shouldn't have been in the tag team match at the end, as they wasn't. So that was very good, because I think they should be on the main roster. Gallus at this point maybe shouldn't really be in NXT at the moment, but there is one thing to say about NXT. Their tag team roster is stacked. The Brawling Brutes were there, and they're on SmackDown, but they're also on NXT now as well, apparently. You had Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, you had Chase U, you had the Creed brothers, Gallus, like, just there was so many people. OTM are there. Like, that tag team division is huge. So it looks like that you've got Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo going on to face the Creed brothers in some kind of feud, because obviously they cost each other in the matchup. You have got Chase U going after the family. And it looks like OTM and the Brawling Brutes are going to be having their little feud as well. So there's a lot going on in the tag team division. The main roster could, learn a lot from NXT. Maybe don't just book one tag team feud at a time. You've got a 2 and a 3 hour show there. You've got a lot of time to build some story. So, let's get a bit of love for the tag team division, shall we? Next, we come to one of my favorite moments of the night, and it's a backstage vignette where Brian Pillman Jr. is talking about the fact that all the old wrestlers used to talk about his dad, obviously Brian Pillman, of how much of a great guy he was, how great he was to be around, he was a great worker, etc., etc. And he says he used to lie through his teeth and say, I loved him too, which couldn't have been any further from the fact that he didn't. I mean, I think this is fantastic work from Brian Pillman Jr. Maybe he could have been used a little bit better in AEW, but he's really getting a chance to shine here. He's talking about when obviously his father passed away. He was only 4 years old and he barely knew the man. He wasn't a role model. He wasn't a father to him. He spent most of his times in hotel rooms. Like I had no idea who he was. Like I only knew who I knew from TV. So I'm not going to be trapped in anyone's shadow. I'm not going to lead his legacy. I'm not going to be the next Brian Pillman. I'm going to be myself. I'm stepping out of his shadow because I am in no one's shadow. I am Alexis or Lexus King. Change the name, I suppose. I think it's a bit of a rubbish name, but it might grow on me. But this is really interesting for me. He's going to be debuting at Halloween Havoc. I'm not sure which night. But I am really interested to see what Brian Pillman Jr. is going to be doing in NXT and WWE in general. This, for me, like I say, was the highlight of the night. I thought it was so interesting to see what he was talking about. You don't usually see people going after the family as brutally as BP Jr. did here. Usually it's just like more of a, like a light-hearted, I don't want to be my father, like Charlotte Flair did. But this was completely different in my eyes. Like he kind of attacked his father because he was never there and he isn't a role model. Like this was fantastic. Like I said, I can't praise this segment enough, honestly. To go to the complete opposite, to be honest with you, we now go to another segment where Carmelo Hayes is talking about how great it feels to be Carmelo Hayes. He was stood right next to John Cena last week. He was in the ring with The Undertaker, and he's absolutely buzzing off that moment. To which where Baron Corbin fairly comes out and says, listen, fans belong in the stands, okay? Like, I saw you talking to John Cena for an hour, dude. Like, can you stop being such a fanboy and focus on your own career? Dijak then comes out and says, listen, the only thing you two guys need to be focusing on is me when I go and destroy Ilya Dragunov after I win the triple threat match tonight, baby. He says, you need to, all of you need to look into my eyes and recognize what you're facing. Baron Corbin does say something funnier. He says, like, none of us can look into your eyes because you're wearing sunglasses. I thought that was a pretty good line. But for me, this whole segment was a bit dry. Like, they all just came out and said things. Like, none of it really meant anything. Even the Carmelo Hayes bit didn't really mean anything. It gets a little bit interesting when Ilya Dragunov gets on the Titantron and he says, just before Cody Rhodes finished up his managerial services last week on NXT, he made one final decision, and this triple threat match tonight is going to be a fatal 4-way match. And that's when whoop, that Trick comes out, baby, and confirms that it is going to be a fatal 4-way match tonight. Or will it be? These guys start brawling in the ring. They start beating each other up. Baron Corbin and Dijak retreat. Trick Williams is talking shit to him on in front of the ropes going, yeah, it's going to see you later on tonight. But Carmelo Hayes is kind of stood behind him. And it looks like Carmelo Hayes is about to attack him, but he doesn't. And then they both start talking normally. And then they both start focusing their attention on Dijak and Corbin. Later on in the night, we do see that Carmelo Hayes does have a problem with what Trick Williams did, that he went behind his back, that he didn't, we didn't tell him what was going on. It feels like we had a plan that you was going to take back your North American Championship. I was going to take back my NXT Championship. And it feels like you've just done all this behind my back and you've not really informed me. You've not really told me what that. It feels a little bit snaky. And Trick Williams says, listen, I beat Dominic for the North American Championship. It felt good. But I tell you what, you spoke to Cena last week. I spoke to Cena last week and he gave me some advice, and gold feels good. So I want the NXT Championship as well. He does apologize to Carmelo Hayes. Obviously, it feels a little bit bad that he went behind his back, but he was a bit nervous about telling him because he didn't know how to tell him. So they kind of make up and they says, no matter what happens tonight, we will always be Trick Mello gang for life, baby. Unfortunately, later on in the night, we find out that Trick Williams has been beaten down backstage, that he's been taken to a hospital. He is not going to be involved in the fatal four-way match tonight. Hence, it is now going to be a triple threat match. This makes Carmelo Hayes feel incredibly guilty, but I don't think it's Carmelo Hayes, unfortunately. I think it's probably either Corbin or Dijak. Most likely Corbin, because him and Dijak were stirring the pot while they were all in the ring, saying, look, Trick did all this behind your back. That's supposed to be your boy. You turned on your boy, He did all of this without telling you, but I think they're trying to make Carmelo Hayes look guilty in Trick Williams' eyes, when in actual fact, it probably was Corbin or Dijak. So it does become a triple threat match later on tonight, but we will get into that a little bit later because we have to go to the next segment, baby. Where are we now? Sorry, I literally just decided to talk all about that in one segment because it happened all the way through the night, but I think it makes more sense if you talk about it, all at the same time, just because, it all makes sense. It all ties in together. So yeah, I don't want to keep going back to it. There was a funny bit in that segment, by the way, what I talk about, where Dijak and Corbin are kind of try to feel each other out, try to talk to each other, and in the background, the crowd are just like Carmelo Hayes, they're singing his name in John Cena's theme song. I thought that was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anyway, we go early in the night now, where we go all the way back to just after that segment. We've talked about Trick Williams now. We go all the way back where Fallon Henley is talking to some of the members of the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, saying, listen, some of you are out of the tournament, some of you are still in, but no matter what, you have all got a bright future, and you just need to keep on, building on what you're doing, keep working hard, and you will get there eventually. She is interrupted by Tiffany Stratton, who calls her Fallon Huntley. Fallon goes to, correct her and say, it's Henley. And Tiffany goes, well, Huntley sounds better, so maybe you should call yourself that. I thought that was really funny. Fallon Henley says, listen, you want an example of someone who you don't want to be like? And she says, like Tiffany Stratton, just a self-entitled narcissist who only thinks about herself. And Tiffany Stratton brings up a good point. And she goes, so they shouldn't try and strive to be a champion. They shouldn't try and strive to be the main event. They should strive to be a country farmer girl with dirt under her nails. Is that what they should try to be? Ah, right. Okay. No worries. I mean, and that's a good point, to be fair. I mean, I'd rather be Tiffany Stratton. She's a former NXT Women's Champion. She's the main event. She's just been in a match with Becky Lynch. Why wouldn't you want to be like Tiffany Stratton? Bit of a weird thing for, Fallon Henley to say, to be honest with you. We now go to a Women's Breakout Tournament match, and it is, who is it? It's Jada Parker versus Carmen Petrovic. And I really like the look of Carmen Petrovic. She's a triple black belt. She comes into this match looking very, very strong, and it's a bit of a short match, to be honest with you. But for what I saw from both of these people, they've got a bright future. Carmen Petrovic does impress me the most, though, and she ends up coming out with the win. Very, very impressive submission move. Submits Jada Parker, heading into the next round, where she'll be facing my favorite to win the tournament, Lola Vice, baby. Lola Vice versus Carmen Petrovic. That's going to be a good match. We now go to another good match, where it's Tegan Nox versus Lyra Valkyria. This started last week, where Tegan Nox confronted Lyra Valkyria and said, look, you're just going to have to wait, because I was so close to beating Becky Lynch on Raw. I came up short, but I want another opportunity, and you're going to have to wait to get your chance, because I'm facing her before you. Obviously, Lyra had a problem with this, so the meeting in the ring this week. Tegan Nox is about to go out, and Natalya says, I'm here to have you back. You've been impressing me for the past couple of weeks, and what you did for me on Raw, I'm going to be here in your corner this week. So it is Lyra Valkyria versus Tegan Nox. Both of them have a really I just had a bit of a stroke. Both of them have a really, really good match. It comes to an end, though, where Chelsea Green and Piper Niven come out for a distraction. Natalya confronts them both, and obviously Tegan Nox goes to Natalya's aid, starts fighting with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. She gets back into the ring from a round, she gets hit with a mega roundhouse kick from Lyra Valkyria, and that's where Lyra picks up the victory. So unfortunately for Tegan Nox, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven have cost her that match. I have a feeling there's going to be more of that on Raw for the next couple of weeks. Maybe they're going to be challenging for the women's tag team championships, a match that I don't really want to see, because Chelsea Green and Piper Niven aren't a tag team, to be honest with you, so they shouldn't really be holding the tag team titles. And Natalya and Tegan Nox aren't a tag team either, so it's two teams who aren't teams challenging for the tag team championships, when you literally have no teams in the women's division apart from Katana Chance and Kaden Carter and the two witches, Alba Fire and whatever other name is. I don't know another other name. But they're the only two teams. And for some reason, like you've got these non-teams just challenging each other, which really annoys me. But anyway, Lara Valkyria gets on the microphone and says, Becky Lynch, you saw something in me when you came back to your old school and you said she's got a bright future. And I wanted to be the firstborn Irish-born NXT Women's Champion, but you beat me to it and you cost me that opportunity. You may have beat me to the NXT Women's Championship, but I will beat you for the NXT Women's Championship. This is where Becky Lynch gets on the Titantron. There's a lot of Titantron scenes here in NXT this week, and says, Lyra, you are an incredible talent. Our old friend Dean, who has passed away, texted me and said, you're an incredible talent. I was watching you on the indie scene before you came to NXT, but I am just better than you. Welcome to the big time. I can't wait for this match. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Take my money. NXT Women's Championship main event of night 1 of Halloween Havoc. I am going to be checking that out. Are you guys going to be checking that out? That might be match of the 2 weeks, to be honest with you, because it's a 2-part Halloween Havoc. So that might be match of the 2 weeks. I cannot wait to see what's going to transpire in that match. Where are we now in the, because I'm just skipping over the Carmelo bit. Oh yeah, here we go. So Gigi Dolan is talking about and responding to Blair Davenport's challenge at Halloween Havoc. She says she will accept Blair Davenport's challenge. She goes to the Halloween spin the wheel, make a deal wheel, and she spins it and it lands on a lights out match. So she said it will be lights out for Blair Davenport next week, bitch. We now go to Von Wagner, where he is slowly recovering. I'm kind of a bit annoyed about this. I kind of wanted to return at Halloween Havoc in like a mask, in like a cane suit or something. I thought that would be really, really funny. And they had the perfect opportunity to, because I'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, he's really, really struggling. He's trying to pull apart this bar, you know, where like he's trying to like work out and he's exercising, but he just can't do it. And he doesn't have any faith in himself. And Robert Stone says, I believe in you. It will take time, but I believe in you. And Von Wagner says, listen, what you did at the last pay-per-view, what was it called? Oh yeah, No Mercy. What he did at No Mercy was reckless, and Bron Breakker could have hurt you more than he hurt me. And Robert Stone was like, I know, but I just wanted to get revenge for you, basically, and I feel really bad for you, and I just want you to get better. And I know when you're 100%, you're going to finish all of this. And Von Wagner goes, give me back that bar. And he ends up, and you don't see him, but I'm assuming he ends up pulling it apart and he starts on his long journey to recovery. I'm going to talk about this now because it's related to it. Bron Breakker is talking in an interview and he's talking about how he is the main attraction in NXT. Everyone was talking about what happened, you know, it has nothing to do with The Undertaker, like, but everyone's talking about what happened last week on NXT because he is the main attraction. Robert Stone confronts him and says, you have no sympathy for what happened. Like, and Bron's like, no, I don't care what happened to Von Wagner. Like, I hope he's retired for good, basically. Robert Stone is furious at this and he challenges him and he says, I just want to punch you and smack you in the face. So do you know what? At Halloween Havoc, it's going to be me versus you. Bron Breakker says, that's a great idea. That's a really, really great idea. You better call the hospital because you're going the exact same way as your buddy Von Wagner went. I'm interested to see what's happening there. And this is what I want to talk about. You have got a moment here where you could have had a Von Wagner coming back, and how do I say this? He could have come back and, like, you know, in the cane mask and attacked Bron Breakker. I thought that would have been really cool. Like, you know, he's like deformed because what Bron Breakker did to him. I don't know. I'm thinking too much into that. I don't know. I just think that would have been cool. But yeah, like Robert Stone is challenging Bron Breakker at Halloween Havoc. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We now go to the next match, and it is Kiana James versus Shotzi after what happened last week when Kiana James was attacked by Shotzi from behind while she was trying to beat down on another poor defenseless person. So Shotzi came to the rescue, baby. So they are settling it this week. Again, not much of a match, really. This is why I thought NXT was a bit weird. Like, all these matches and like they're all kind of just like there, and they didn't last for very long, and nothing really happened in them until Roxanne Perez comes out and starts rummaging in Kiana James's bag, who obviously gets distracted by this as she finds a brick in the bag. She gets absolutely taken out by Shotzi here, setting it up for the senton. Shotzi wins the match 1, 2, 3. Booker T says something really, really strange in this and says Kiana James has never really got back on the horse, never really got back to normal ever since the experiment with Fallon Henley when they were both women's tag team champions. And I'm like, Booker, I don't mean to point this out, but she won a triple threat number one contenders match a couple of weeks ago, and she challenged Tiffany Stratton the week after for the NXT Women's Championship. So I think she's doing just fine, to be honest with you. I don't really understand why Roxanne Perez got involved in this match, to be honest with you. I just, whatever. Backstage after this match, Shotzi is talking to Roxanne Perez about this. Like Roxanne is like, Kiana made it my business, so I'm getting involved, basically. And I'm just like, I don't care, Roxanne. I really do not. Roxanne Perez does not interest me at the moment. But anyway, she gets to the spin the wheel, make a deal. She asks Shotzi if she can spin it, and it turns and it hits a Devil's Playground match. So it looks like either night 1 or night 2 or Halloween Havoc. Kiana James is going to be facing Roxanne Perez in a Devil's Playground match. I'm not sure what that is. I think that's maybe is it a street fight? I'm not sure if it's a street fight. I honestly don't know what it is. I would think so. I would think it's kind of a street fight, but who knows at the end of the day. It's probably got pumpkins and stuff all over the place. Like, who knows? But anyway, we move, don't we? We now go to a backstage segment, and this is before the whole Trick Williams thing happened where he was beaten down. We've already talked about this. But Aura Mensah is talking to Mackenzie, and obviously Jakara Jackson has been taken out of the women's breakout tournament because of an injury, but he's on the phone at the moment to Noam Dar, who is talking about how, oh no, he's like, she's gonna have to have her arm removed and stuff like that. And Mackenzie's like, I didn't even realize she needed surgery. What the hell are you talking about? Like, what's happening? What's going on? And you can hear Noam Dar in the background going, oh, so you're a doctor now, are you? You're a doctor now, Mackenzie? I just thought that was just really, really funny, to be honest with you. But yeah, Jakara Jackson is out of the women's breakout tournament. He was replaced by Brimley Reese, who we'll get to in a moment. Same name as me, spelled differently, but it is what it is. We now go to Dominic Mysterio and Nathan Fraser, who are fighting backstage, and they make their way out to the ring. Dominic Mysterio is saved by Rhea Ripley, aka Mammy, Monday Night Mammy, baby. So is this going to be a feud now for the North American Championship? Nathan Fraser versus Dominic Mysterio. Okay, as long as Dominic Mysterio does all the talking and Nathan Fraser just doesn't have a microphone in his hand, I'll be absolutely fine with that. Both of them can have a really, really good match, but Nathan Fraser really gets on my nerve when it comes to microphone work. So I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him talk. I want to see Dominic Mysterio talk. Maybe give Rhea Ripley the microphone. Maybe get someone out to let to talk for Nathan Fraser. I just don't want to see. I just don't want to see Nathan Fraser on the microphone. He really cringes me out, and it really annoys me. Anyway. We now go to the second match in the women's breakout tournament that we're getting tonight. We're getting Ariana Grace, who was supposed to be challenging Jakara Jackson, who expected a bye into the next round, but she is unfortunately confronted by Brimley Reese, as she thought she was going to get a break, and it isn't the case. So Brimley Reese comes out. I don't really know much about Brimley Reese, but she was quite impressive in this match. Ariana Grace, for the little amount of microphone work that she had this week, I thought was really cool on the microphone, and I quite like her attitude in the ring as well. She's sort of like a pageantee, like a Miss America kind of character. I really like it. I love a cadence to her voice. I love her character. I want to see more of Ariana Grace on my TV screen, and we will be, because she actually wins this match, fortunately. So she will be facing. I'm not sure who she is going to be facing in the next round of the women's breakout tournament, but maybe she'll get to the final. Hopefully, Lola Vice versus Ariana Grace. That'd be a cool little final, but there are still plenty of people in this tournament who I've got my eye on, like I said before, with Carmen Petrovic. She's going to be challenging Lola Vice next week, and then the week after that, we are seeing who is getting to the final, because there is another semi-final. So I'm assuming the week after both of Halloween Havoc's coming, we will get the women's breakout tournament final match, and then we'll see who is going to be the winner. I cannot wait for that. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to be the women's breakout tournament winner. Like I say, I have a feeling from the very beginning, I put my money on Lola Vice, baby, because she is the most talented, in my opinion, in that tournament, and she has the brightest future right now in NXT. We now go to the triple threat match, the main event for the #1 contendership for the NXT Championship. We've got Baron Corbin versus Dijak versus him, Carmelo Hayes. I was really impressed with Baron Corbin in this match. He's got a new move that I don't think I've seen before, where he does like a second rope sort of clothesline crossbody, which looks really impressive. Dijak does like a side fall away slam to Carmelo Hayes, which looks really nice as well. Baron Corbin is fighting Dijak outside the ring, where Carmelo Hayes gets involved, and like another beatdown ensues. Like all of these three guys are just going at each other, and it just looks really impressive. Carmelo Hayes is just getting thrown about by these two big guys, but that's not really a bad thing because obviously these two want to get their moves in as well. Baron Corbin, for me, was a standout in this match. The ending was a little bit strange to me because I thought the winner wasn't like, I thought the winner was a little bit disappointing in my opinion. So we'll talk about the ending now. So Dijak goes for the feast your eyes on Baron Corbin, who counters it. He gets out of that move. He hits Dijak with the end of days. So you think that Baron Corbin is about to pin Dijak. He is crawling over to the pin. Unfortunately, he never makes it because he gets hit right in the back of his neck with nothing but net from Carmelo Hayes. Hayes jumps onto Dijak for the 1-2-3. He is facing Ilya Dragunov at Halloween Havoc Night 2, I believe it is, for the NXT Championship. Now, for me, this is a rematch that didn't really need to happen. They had the first match at Heatwave. They had the second match at No Mercy where Dragunov won that match. And now they're having a rematch at Halloween Havoc, which obviously, in my opinion, I believe that Ilya Dragunov is going to be winning. I thought it was a little bit predictable. If you wanted my opinion, I thought Baron Corbin should have won this match. I think he's a perfect opponent for Ilya Dragunov at the moment, seeing as though Dragunov isn't involved in any main event feuds at the moment, and Baron Corbin is doing quite well in NXT. So I think he deserved an NXT Championship match. Also, he's one of the only people, apart from Carmelo Hayes, kind of surviving at Heatwave to pin Ilya Dragunov in the past year. So I just thought that would have been really interesting. I know why they are setting it up, because obviously it looks really suspicious now. Like I say, I don't think it was Carmelo Hayes who beat down Trick Williams, but now it looks like that Hayes beat down Williams to get him out of that match. And now he's won that match, and now he's going for the NXT Championship, something that Trick Williams really, really wanted. So it looks like Carmelo Hayes has been really sneaky. It looks like Carmelo Hayes has been really dirty, tactics wise, and gone behind Trick Williams, beat him down to take him out of the equation. But let me know what you think in the comments. Was you a little bit disappointed that Trick Williams was taken out of this match? I was. I thought it would have been really interesting, but obviously they're saving that for a little bit down the line when Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams go one-on-one, in my opinion, at Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend of NXT, baby. I think that's going to be a great match. It's going to be like a Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano style rivalry where both of them are bitter enemies, like the great friends turned into bitter enemies. Trick Mello gang breaks apart, and it's only going to be a matter of time where I believe it's going to be Carmelo Hayes probably turning heel on Trick Williams. I can't see Trick Williams turning heel. He is on a hot streak at the moment in NXT, and arguably in the whole of WWE, he's one of the most interesting and one of the most over people on that roster. But like I said, let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. Are you excited for Halloween Havoc? Also, let's chat about that. I'm really excited for it. You got the NXT Women's Championship match there, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. That's going to be great. You have got Chase U versus the Family in the NXT Tag Team match. That's going to be a fantastic match once again. You got the the semi-finals of the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, which is going to be great to see as well. Gigi Dolan versus Blair Davenport in a lights out match, going to be great. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James in a Devil's Playground match. I'm interested in seeing that. I'm always a fan of street fights. Let's go. And then obviously Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes, a rematch for the NXT Championship. Let's see who is going to go home with the gold. It's going to be Ilya Dragunov. And Nathan Fraser versus Dominic Mysterio, possibly at Halloween Havoc as well. Let's talk about that. Let me know what you think that if that's going to be at Halloween Havoc. All of that to come in the next 2 weeks. I will be absolutely buzzing to review that for you guys. Speaking of reviews, make sure you check out Courtney's review that came out yesterday. She reviewed Monday Night Raw for you guys. Check out tomorrow where we've got 2 special guests coming on to the Ahsoka talk, baby. Let's go. We are discussing the Ahsoka finale. We are discussing Star Wars in general on the podcast tomorrow with me, Ross, Darth Veritas, and our boy Liam, who was on the Ahsoka show podcast a couple of weeks ago, so that's going to be a really, really good talk. Also, stay tuned for the AEW wrap-up on Sunday from Ross, and on Saturday morning comes the SmackDown review. Obviously, you guys loved the SmackDown review last week, so stay tuned for that. So stay tuned for more information coming from SmackDown. But guys, I hope you have an absolutely amazing Wednesday. Hope you have an absolutely amazing end of your week. I will see you guys next week. I'm going Poland for over the weekend, so I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to relax over there. So I'll see you nice and fresh next week for the NXT Night 1 of Halloween Havoc. Peace out.